So this is the third day of the EF core workshop. Now, in the last 2 days, we saw the overview of the fundamentals related to the entity framework core. In that, as a part of it, we saw the EF core, how to create an EF core application, and later what are the basic steps involved in the EF core application. We gone through that steps, and finally we created a application, EF core application using code first approach. Last day we saw the configuration of a model class, and how to create a model class, and how to configure a model class, and how to migrate the class into a table by using add migration and update database. While performing the migrations, we observed how the EF conventions will work and how the external data annotations will work. And later we used two classes with relation to create two tables with primary key and foreign key relation. Right. Now there is another way to create to configure the model classes. What is that? That is called Fluent API. So what is meant by Fluent API? I will give just an overview. See, configuring the model class can be performed in two ways. One is by using data annotations. Second one is by using Fluent API. So what is meant by Fluent API? And one more important, whenever you enter into in-depth analysis and comparison between the data annotations and the Fluent API, there is a concept comes into the picture called is Fluent API and data annotations both are equal? That is a very important point. Almost equal, but some minor differences are there. What does it mean? What is meant by comparison and what is meant by equality. Whatever the configurations we can do by using data annotation, if they are equally able to perform by Fluent API, then we can say Fluent API and data annotations both are equal. Suppose two elements are there, A and B. When you can say both are equal, whatever the things can be performed by A, if they are equally performed by B, then we can say both are equal. So now the configuration and validations are performed by data annotations. Now the same things are performed by the same functionality. If Fluent API is able to fulfill, then we can say both are equal. Right. Now Fluent API. What is meant by this Fluent API? I will give a very brief functional overview, not technical one, because it is it extends more time. That's why first I will explain what is meant by Fluent API in brief. See, the Fluent API means functions. Now we have one object named as student, just assume, which is with some properties like ID, like name, right? Next, the course joined, next, date of joining, right? Assume these are the simple four properties of a particular class. Now what is our requirement? You need, whenever you are creating a student object, you need to assign the value to ID property, name property, course, and date of join. Right or wrong? When you are creating a student object, you need to assign values to ID, name, course, and date of join. Right? Simple. Now to assign value to ID, I am going to write one function. To assign name value to we are going to use one function. To assign a value to the course, we are going to write one function. To assign a value to date of join, I am going to write one function. So four variables and four functions. Generally, how you write a initialization statement? Student sum S1 equal to new student. Say the student ID 101, maybe the student name John. Say the course is .NET full stack. Okay, so the date of join is say 18th March 2024, like this. Okay, this is the initialization statement for an object, right? Right or wrong? Is it clear? Right, when you are going to create, even if you know the basics of OOPS, you can understand this statement, right? S1 is an object of type student, and new allocates memory, and student is a constructor which takes which takes 4 input arguments, right? These are called arguments, right? Now suppose if you use Fluent API, okay, how you are going to write this statement? The Fluent API statements are almost equal to like English statements, okay, with verbs, simply say, okay. It means a student object is created with so and so details. That is the functional explanation, okay, related to the creation of a object. Now for a student object, we are going to create Fluent API. They are called student Fluent API, okay. The API created for student. What is the purpose of this Fluent API? Let us see. I will write one statement here. Student, okay. Now here, to assign value to the ID, I am going to create a function called with ID. Now one more function called named joined in, okay. I created functions like this, okay. Now assume this is a student object, okay. Now the student, okay, with ID, okay, or you can write in any order, okay. It is the order is not important. The student, first write the English statement, joined in .NET full stack, okay. The student joined, student named John, joined in .NET full stack course, okay, on 18th, okay, okay, with ID 101. This is English statement. The student named John joined in .NET full stack course on 18th with an ID 101. This statement is like English statement, right? Natural English statement. Now let us make it as a calling statement of the functions by using an object. See, if you observe this statement, this name belongs to student, and this course name belongs to student. This date of join belongs to student, and this ID belongs to student. So it means these 4 values belongs to student, okay. And to assign these values, okay, to assign these values to these internal variables, okay, we are going to use functions. Now let us see this student, okay, dot named, okay, as it is John. Observe the above statement, okay. Named John, joined in .NET full stack, okay, dot on 18th March 2024, okay, with an ID 101. That is. Now observe the difference between these two statements. Is there any difference here? No. Just observe this. Only dots are came. Student named John joined in .NET full stack on 18th 3rd 2024 with an ID 101. Now the same statement you have written here, right? Same statement, but only it is like a student object dot named. Now let us divide this into parts. This is the student named John. See, this is student object. To this name property, you are assigning a value. Now, how you are going to assign? By calling a function called named. So, student object dot named, right? To call the joined in function also, you need student object. You need to call on function. So, to call this on function also, we need student object. To call ID function also, okay, with ID or ID, is it okay? Now ID, okay, again you need ID function, right? So with ID is there, sorry, this is here with ID is there, right, with ID, right? So to call this with ID function also, we need student object, because all these functions belongs to student object, okay, and these functions are used to assign values to the student object variables, okay, normal variables. To call these 4 functions, we need student object. But here, how many times you use the student object? Only one time, right, wrong? Only one time, student dot, that's all, right? Now, what is the behavior, second important behavior of a Fluent API? See here, to call joined in function, we need student object, because joined in function belongs to student. But are you using student object here to call joined in function? No. Okay. So who provides object to joined in function? Because to call a function, we need an object. Only for first function, we have student object, student dot named, that's all. But how the second function is called? If you observe the statement, once again, see this. On the left side of the dot, okay, on the left side of the dot of a function calling statement, the left side one should be an object if it is a normal function. If it is a static function, it should be a class, okay. Now named is a function, named is a function using which, okay, you are going to assign a value to ID name variable, okay, the input value is John. Now to call normal function, we need an object. For the first point, for the first calling statement, it is okay. How joined in function is called? On the left side of the dot, here student object is there? No, here it is a calling statement of another function which belongs to student. Now here, while you are designing the Fluent API, the important principle you need to remember is every function calling statement, okay, should perform its internal operation, and finally it should return the student object on which it is working. That is the important point. This named function working on student object. Now, not only assigning a value to the variable called name, it returns the student object. So at runtime, what happens? The named function, okay, student dot named of John. At runtime, what happens? It returns the student object on which the assignment operation is completed. Okay, the assigning of name is completed. So that what happens? At runtime, student dot named is replaced with the object. Which object? Student object. So at runtime, this calling statement is replaced with student object. So student object dot joined in. Now again, what is the nature of Fluent API? Performing its operation plus at the end, it should return the object on which the operation is working. So joined in function again assigns the value and it returns the student object. So see this here. Now what happens? To call the function on, we need student object. that is provided by this joined in function. Okay, next, to call with id you need student object. So to call with id you need student object. The student object is provided by this on function. So in the Fluent API, the important point is every function except the last one, remaining all the functions, okay, not only performing their assigned task, they should return the object on which they are working. So that what happens, the object returned by that function works as a object for next calling statement. That is the most important point. So joined in function uses the object which is returned by named function. On function uses the object which is returned by joined in function. With id function uses the object which is returned by on function. That is, so this is a connectivity, this is called chaining. Okay, so this is an example of Fluent API. Now for the student, you created the Fluent API manually, just okay. It is not a complete example, it is a outline, abstractive. But in our EF core, already Fluent API are provided, okay, to configure the model classes. That is, you no need to write the Fluent API, just you need to use that Fluent API. You need to know how to use the Fluent API. That is an important point. Okay, so now again, so in this example, once again I am coming from the scratch. So take a console application. So in this example, we are going to see the usage of Fluent API, and next performing the database operations like add, delete, find and all. Now let us take the class. First, view solution explorer, right click on the project, add new folder, models, right click on the models, add new item, select the class, category. Okay, right. Now create the, what is the first step? Create a model class. Okay, so public int id, public string name, public string description. Right, right. So those who are not aware about the data annotations, please go through the last day video. Okay, in that video we gone through basic data EF conventions and data annotations both. Okay, now this is a category class without any external configuration by using data annotations. Okay, what next? You need to download the relevant libraries. What are they? So go to the tools, you get package manager, browse, Microsoft.entityframework.sql server. This is. Now, before proceeding to that, check about your sorry, I selected .NET 4.8. Okay, please close this. Create new project, console app. Okay, earlier I selected app.NET framework, it is 4.8. okay, we should use .NET 6 or 7 or 8. Okay, so select console app, next, right? .NET 6. Now right click here, models, right click on the models, add new item, class, category, okay, right. As the Visual Studio is integrated with AI, okay, so this is the beauty of Visual Studio 2022. So automatically, depending upon your class name, okay, it suggests the code, intelligence feature. So if it is okay for you, you can select that code by using, you can confirm that code by selecting the tab, that is. And even some shortcut codes are also there to generate the classes, okay. So public int ID, name and description, okay. Now what next? Go to the tools, you get package manager. You can use command line tools also. Remember that there are two ways in the there are two ways to develop the .NET applications. One is by using .NET CLI and Visual Studio Code. This is Visual Studio, okay. Microsoft Entity Framework Core.SQL Server. Select this and select the project folder. As you are using .NET 6, select EF Core 7. Okay, don't select the 8. Okay, 8 is supported by .NET 8 only. Okay, we are going in the coming examples. We are going to see .NET 8 also. Okay, at that time in the configuration class, okay, you can add different other features also. Like for example, I will show you just one simple example here. Suppose here you can add a keyword called required here. That is okay. But if you put the mouse pointer here, see that feature required members is not available in C# 10. Please use the language version 11 or greater. It means you need to select either .NET 7 or .NET 8. That is. So as a part of our course, as we are dealing with C# 12, okay, we are going to see that features also, right? So now public int ID, name, description. Come back here. Yeah. Select install. Apply. Accept. Right. It is installed. Now again next you need to install tools. Microsoft.entity framework core.tools. Select the tools. Select the project and select the version here 7.0.17. Install. Apply. I'm trying to show every application independently. Okay, that's why I'm not using the last day solution. Okay, that is. So, yes, it is installed. Right. Go to the view, solution explorer, dependencies, under packages. See, these two are installed. And please confirm their version 7.0.17. Okay. Now, what next? You need to create context class, okay, which maintains the information about the total database programming, okay, data, all the required things related to the database. So create a folder with the name DAL and right click on the folder, add new item, okay. So use one appropriate name for the context class. So here I'm using online March, okay. and to identify that class as a context, just postfix with the word called context. Okay, that is. So online mart context, click add. Now what to do? You need to make this class as child to DB context. Right. Now DB context class is not available. Why? Because entity framework core, okay, namespace or assembly is not easy. It is not referred here by using the using statement. So how to get it automatically? Just put the mouse pointer over here and click the down arrow using Microsoft dot entity framework dot core. Select that statement. That's all. Yes, it is added. Okay, now the error is gone. Now here, now your work is related to this context class. Okay. Last day you performed the configuration in the model class. Okay, data annotations are used in model class and attributes related to the data annotations related to the schema and validations both. Okay, annotations is used to perform or to apply to configure about the schema and validations both. Okay, the place of data annotations code is model class. The place of Fluent API code is context class. That is the first difference you need to observe. Okay, so context class code is Fluent API code in context class and data annotations code in model class. Now, first you need to write the constructor here and public, right, and a child class constructor calling the parent class constructor. Right now in this application we are not going to customize this constructor because it is a console application, right? But when you are using EF core with web API, especially core web API, and when you are using the context EF core with MVC, at that time you need to customize this. Remember, right now we are not customizing the constructor. It is just a zero constructor, class name and no input parameters. Okay. Next, now you need to override two methods. Actually, three methods are available. In the last day session, we override only two methods. Now, three. Right. So protected space override. Now override the three methods. This is protected override void configure conventions. This is one method. Next, the second method, protected override. See this on configuring. This is another method. Protected override on model creating. Totally three methods. Now on configuring. Okay, this is to specify the right now the SQL connection string. Okay, so how you are going to specify options builder input parameter, okay, of type DB context options builder, right? Now options builder dot use SQL server. This is now in this as a input to the use SQL server method, pass the connection string, okay, which are required to connect with the database. So the connection string is of two types. Okay, SQL authentication based connection string and Windows authentication based connection string. In the SQL based connection string, okay, we need to provide user ID and password. In the Windows authentication based connection string, you no need to provide the user ID and password. So use SQL server equal to SQL server management studio Now in that the server name field, server name is available, copy it, right? Some people may use like localhost or dot something, or even some people may use the local database of Visual Studio, okay, but we are using the independent SQL server. So server equal to the server name semicolon. You can use like a user space ID equal to username and password equal to password name, like that, but we are not using SQL authentication, okay. So trusted underscore connection equal to S, okay. Next, what is the database of your project, okay. So database equal to, okay, now you can use EF. I'm using EF core 2, okay, right, semicolon, and after that you need to use trust server certificate, okay, equal to true. So these are the these are the 4 input parameters which are required for function string. You can add user space ID equal to username and password equal to password if you want to go with SQL authentication, okay, right. Now this is last day, okay, this is same as the last day example also, but right now see this one, on model creating. Here see the input parameter name, I mean this one input parameter type, the input parameter is the model builder. Now this model builder is an object of type model builder. So just read it in a reverse way, builder for model class, okay, it builds the model class, right. Now this is category. Right now it is not a model class, just it is a class, that's all. It is not a model class, just it is a class, because you know C#, you know OOPS, so that you created class and properties, that's all. These are called automated properties, a property without set logic and get logic, that's all. But now you want to configure this category class as a model class, okay, for a database or to create a table, okay, and to use it as a component in the application, right. So last day we made this ID as primary key through EF convention or by using a key property, key attribute, right, and you made it as a non-database generated property by using database generated, okay, option, database generated option dot none. So please remember the last day attributes. Now we are not going to use any data annotation attributes right now. Whatever the configurations we did in the last session, okay, in the last day class, all that we are going to perform by using Fluent API. That is important point. So it is it sometimes it seems to be a little bit completely new, because all are comfortable with data annotations. Fluent API initially it is those who are completely new to the method chaining concept and this Fluent API concept, they feels little bit it is different, it is working in a different way, or sometimes it is complex, okay, it is not that much complex. You need to go through the coding in a way that what happening by the writing by each statement, okay, each word, each part of that statement, you need to analyze by dividing that statement into part by part, then only you can understand, okay. So now what is the first one, okay, what is the first step? You need to make the ID as a primary key. That is important point. Now in the last day we used key attribute here to make it as a primary key, and last day we used database generated option dot none, right. Now today I am not going to use these two, remember that, okay, because these two tasks I am going to perform by using by using a Fluent API. Okay. Now come back to the context class. Now here model, okay, model builder. Take this model builder object, model builder dot entity. Every model class is going to be called as an entity. Remember that. Now here when you type model builder dot, you are getting two methods here: entity without left angle and right angle bracket, and entity with left angle and right angle bracket. Why these two? In our project, okay, currently in our application, category class is there. In the real time, okay, in an application, there is a chance to have n number of classes: category, product, order details, customer. Okay, in that way, there is a chance to have multiple classes. Okay, now you are going to configure only one class? No, you need to configure category class, you need to configure product class, you need to configure customer class, you need to configure the remaining classes. Okay, so now entity means it is not just category, it is not just customer. Okay, there is configuration logic is common, but the entity changes. Configure category class, configure product class, configure customer class, configure order class, configure discount class, configure. So configuration is common, but the class is changing. So this concept is called, okay, generic. Remember that. So configuration logic is common. Okay, I want to set the primary key of category class, I want to set the primary key of product class. Okay, so setting the primary key is common logic, but for which class you are setting the primary key? For category, for product. So configuring one property as a primary key is common logic, but you are executing that primary key setting logic for which class? Sometimes category class, sometimes customer class, sometimes product class, sometimes student class. It changes from project to project, right? That's why you need to use generic entity. Which entity you are going to use right now? Okay, so entity is nothing but okay, the model class, model builder dot entity. Okay, right. Now so let us start from here. Model builder dot entity. So now you selected category. Now your configuration starts for category. Suppose here I have written product, then your configuration starts for product, right? Now what we are going to do? What is next? You identified the category, fine. Now I need the properties of category. Okay, because what are the properties of category? ID, name and description. So get the properties from the category class, and from that properties what is required? ID, not all the properties, because what is our first step? I want to make this ID as a primary key, right? So where is ID? In the category class. Okay, so in our example, just first I need ID property, but where is ID property? In the category. That's why model builder dot entity of category. Now from this category you need to set, you need to get the properties, all the properties. Okay, dot property, it returns all the properties of the category class. Now from that properties, which property is required? Only ID property is required. Okay, so now the lambda expression here, last day I told you to learn about EF core, data annotations, Fluent API, collections, lambda expressions. These are all, at least you should have overview. Okay, then you can understand this flow very easily. Now from this category, okay, the properties are taken and they are passed as input to this P. Okay, now it means it is a lambda expression, means single line functions. For better understanding, we can say one line functions are single line functions. So now from this P, okay, you are going to see ID, name, you are going to get the properties P dot Okay, so see, p dot, now you are able to get p dot id, p dot name, p dot description, that is. So you can select p, right? Now on that p, what you are going to perform, that is, this is the way, right? Fix it. Now what is our requirement? We want to make this id as a primary key, right? How? So to which entity you are going to, we want primary key? Model builder dot entity category, right? Dot, okay. See this here, we have different types of methods here. This is, see, category dot entity of category dot has key. Okay, now among the properties of among the three properties of category, which one is as primary key? Okay, that is, now just read it as like a regular English. Entity category has a key called id, that's all, simple. Okay, category has a key named id. Okay, key means here primary key. Okay, that is, so this is equal to a statement, a attribute called this one, key. Okay, so this angle brackets key is there, sorry, square brackets key annotation or attribute. To this key attribute, what is the equivalent statement of Fluent API? This one. Okay, so this is equal to this one. Okay, next, what next? What is the next one? This is little bit important, and it is not that much easy to understand in one session. Okay, what is the second one? Database generated option dot none. How to perform that one? Okay, it is about overriding of EF conventions. It means if you identified one property as a primary key, okay, and no any external configurations for it, by default that property becomes identity column. In the last session we did so many examples based on that, right? Now database, okay, we are asking the database don't generate value for id. Okay, don't make it as identity column. Okay, manually application going to provide values to id. Okay, that is, for id no need to generate the values by database. By using attributes, you are going to specify, you are going to achieve like this. But how to achieve the same? By using Fluent API. Okay, right. Now to reduce the time, I am going to use some code which is already written here. See this one, model builder dot entity of category, collect the properties. From that properties, which property? Okay, now on that property you need to use a function called value generated never. Okay, and it means, what does it mean? Don't generate the value for it, that's all. So let us use it. So first, where is the id property? In the category. So model builder dot category. Now from that entity we need all the properties. So property. Now from that properties, which property we need? id property. And for this id property don't generate the values. Okay, see this here, value generated never, that is. So this is don't generate value for the id property of category, that is. So this statement is equal to this one, database generated option dot none, that is. So in that way, for every annotation, okay, a Fluent API implementation is there almost, but 2% to 3% changes are there. It means for some options the Fluent API, okay, unable to provide the things because it is a under development, right? And you need to check the version also, okay, because when you are using old version, some implementations are missing. So you should be aware about the version. That is very important. Okay, that is next. Now what next? Suppose I want to change the name. Okay, what is the property name here? Name. How you are going to change this name here? While creating the database, okay, column of category name, and I want this description, column of, okay, description. This is okay. Now how to change the column name? Okay, by using Fluent API, by using data annotations, column of the column name. Okay, here there are two more options also there. You can specify the data type, you can specify the order. Okay, right, it is a, now we are using only one option from the column. Okay, by using this column you can specify name, order and type also. Okay, but anyway, it is an introduction class and we need to go with step by step. Okay, so it should be simple but it should be worthy. That is very very important, but that's why I am comparing step by step. Once you are comfortable with this one, then you will see in the next version, I mean the next coming sessions, we are going to see different other options associated with the same. Okay, so now column name. So how to specify this? Now you need, see, name property. For the name property, the column name should be category name, right? Where is the name property? In the category. So come back, model builder dot entity of, right? Now the name property is inside the category. Okay, so model builder dot entity of category, and we need the properties. Now from that properties, which property we need right now? Name. Now to this name, what you are going to specify? You can, to this name property, you can specify the data type, you can specify the name, and you can specify the validations. Remember that. Okay, you picked the property, name property. Now on that name property, what you are going to specify? You can specify its name, you can specify its type, you can specify its validation. So three things you can specify. Okay, three possibilities are there. You can configure the name property, okay, in three ways. Its name, you can change its name, you can change its type, you can add validations on the name property, right? See this here, has column name, that is has column name. What is the name? See, I don't want this property name to be same as the column name. Okay, I want to change the column name for this property. This is property. Now column name, if you do not use this one, what happens? The property name and column name becomes same. Now here category name, this is okay, this is equal to which one? Column of category name, that is. Next, in the same way for description also. So where is the description? In the entity of category. So category dot property description has column name, description. Okay, right? Next, after that, okay, for everything I am going to provide one example. Okay, right, because the time is very limited. So right, this is about one. Next, if you take the context class here, there is here configure conventions is there. Okay, in this configure conventions, okay, what type of code you are going to write? See, what is the name of this method? Configure conventions. Convention means when there is no external configuration, okay, how the schema is decided. Okay, that is by EF conventions. Means how the it is called assumption, or it is called default schema. Default schema. Okay, if you do not specify anything as a primary key, if you do not specify any type, if you do not specify any name, okay, if you do not specify what is the nature of that property, then everything is automatically now. So now we want to override that conventions. So I will here I will provide one example related to these conventions. Now see, every primary key, okay, on every primary key, index is automatically created. Index column. Those who know about the databases, they know about the index column, indexing. Okay, generally the primary key columns are treated as index columns, or indexing is applied on primary keys. That is the default nature of any RDBMS. Okay, without any external code, every primary key column is on every primary key column indexing is applied. Now I don't want indexing on the primary key column. Okay, why actually indexing? The indexing is very much useful. Okay, when you are performing searching, sortings, and when you are trying to add, update and all, at that time the indexing column is very much useful, right? So it is generally like a non-null, not null, unique column. Okay, the indexing columns generally, okay, generally, not always true, generally they are applied on primary keys, because primary key is a not null and unique, because it never allows the duplicate values, and it never allows empty values also, right, null values also. That's why what happens, the indexing becomes very easy. Sorting, searching and deletion, update, every process becomes very easy by using the indexing columns. Indexing becomes easy when it is done on primary keys. Indexing can be done on non-primary key columns also, which contains duplicate values and all. Okay, but it is a little bit complex process. Okay, right. It is just like indexing on product ID, indexing on product name. Product ID is unique, whereas product name, it may be repeated. Okay, suppose for example you are purchasing a mobile, the mobile name is same. Okay, mobile name could be same, but its configuration may differ, right? So that's why name column may be with duplicate values, whereas product ID column is not with duplicate values. That's why indexing on primary key is very easy to implement. So by default, without giving any external information, automatically when primary key is created, on that primary key column, indexing is automatically applied by the RDBMS softwares. So now I don't want indexing on my primary key column. Then how to write the logic? See this here. I am using the input parameter is configuration builder of type model configuration builder. Now see this, configuration builder dot conventions, that is. So conventions means they represents the EF core conventions. EF conventions different and EF core conventions are different. Dot, from that conventions remove one convention. What is that convention? Every convention is represented by one predefined class. Okay. Foreign key index convention, that is. Okay. So we are going to remove the indexing conventions. In that way, different are there. It is just an example. Okay. I'm not going in depth for these things. Just for everything, for every option, I am trying to show some example here. Okay. So you can remove conventions here. So you need to write that logic inside the configure conventions. Okay. That is. Next. After that, one more example is pending. Okay. What is that? In the internal class, sorry, here class, when a class, for a class, when an object is, when a table is created, how the table name will be? Category. The table name will be categories. It is also convention, right or wrong? Right, last day we saw category is the class name. For that class, the table name is categories. Now I want my table name and class name both should be same. At that time, we can use one option, and I mean you can achieve that in two ways. One simple way is table and specify the name as category. So here the input of table attribute and the class name both are same, so that the table name also will be same. That is okay. There is another way to achieve this, but right now I am going with very simple one which is understandable to everyone. Just table attribute and the input of table attribute is category, so that the table name also will be category only. Now how to achieve this? By using a Fluent API, right? In the EF core, it is little bit seems to be easy. Sorry, in the EF it is little bit easy, seems to be, but it is EF core. Okay, how you are going to do that? So for that also, I am already prepared the code to save the time. Right. This is okay. Now see this one. Get the all the entities by using this one builder, model builder input parameter. So model builder dot get entity types. Now from this it is a collection. From this collection, the first entity type will be stored in this variable. Now entity type dot set table name. Right. For this entity, what is the display name? The same name is set as a table name. That is. So this code is equal to this one. Table of category. That is. So this is a table of category and its equivalent code in the EF core is this one. Okay. Right. So this is about a single model class. Okay. Right. Next. After that, what is next? Last day you created one more model class, right, with relation. Right. Now for this example, add one more class. Right click on the models, add new item, because last day we created two tables with primary key and foreign key relation. So in the Fluent API also you should know how to specify foreign key also, and how to configure two classes with primary key and foreign key relation. That is one more pending. Okay, because last day you achieved it through data annotations and EF conventions combination, navigation properties also, right? So now here product, right? Now in this the product ID, the product name, quantity, right? Now every product belongs to a category, right? So now you need to form the relation between these two. How? In the category we have id. Okay, let us make it as category id, more clear, because to avoid the confusion, because id means what? It may be student id, it may be customer id, it may be student id, it may be order id, any id. So better make it more clear, category id. Right. Now take this property. The first thing, you need to add the primary key of one table as a foreign key into the other table, and it is a database, it is a data property. Remember that. Data property means for a property, value should be there. Okay. We are going to store value for it. So when you are storing the product data, you are going to store product ID, name, quantity, price, and category also. Okay. Now one product belongs to how many categories? Only one category. So that one product object belongs to one category object. So it is a navigation property. Now coming to this category, one category contains how many products? 0, 1 or more than 1. Okay, I created category but no products added. So it means if you select category, it displays empty products. Okay, no products in that category. That is called 0. Suppose only one product I added, then that category is with one product. Now in that category I added multiple products. So under one category there is a chance to have 0 products, 1 product and more than 1 product. So that public list, you can write this navigation property by using collection, using interfaces also. Okay, right. So now a category may contain list of products. That is, so that list may be 0 or 1 or more than 1. That is okay. So this is a navigation property. Fine. Now how to achieve, how to configure, okay, how to configure these two classes as primary table and child table, or primary table and secondary table, or primary key table and foreign key table. Okay, how? By using data annotations. Okay, sorry, by using a Fluent API. Now go back here. Right. Now category contains primary key. Okay, and that is going to act as a foreign key in the product one. Now how you are going to specify this? By using a Fluent API. Okay. Now model builder dot entity, sorry, category. Okay, right. One category object, okay, may contain multiple products. Okay, so this is called one to many relationship. One category object may refer 0, 1 or more. That is one point. Okay, so category this one. Here there are two methods. Has many. One category has many products. One category has many products. Don't look that code. Just in your mind read like English sentence. Category has many products. Category has many products. That is, the Fluent API is just like in English. Category has many products. Okay, that is. So has many. What that many? Okay, many products. Right. Now what is the key in that data. Okay, so let us see. This is now. See, category has many products, okay, with one category. Many products with one category. Now, in that, which one acting as a foreign key? Has a foreign key. Which one? Category ID is acting as a foreign key. See, in the product class, here you added category as a key. Okay, you are making that one as a foreign key. Okay, this is model builder dot entity of category has many products with one category, has foreign key e dot category ID. So first time it seems to be little bit confusing, but read it one by one, read it slowly, step by step you are able to understand. So to understand these statements, I told you, you should be aware about Fluent API and you should be aware about Lambda expression. Then only you can understand this concept very easily. Okay. Now here see this one. What is this E? Category object. See that here. What is this E? Product object. When you are getting the confusion about this one, please observe carefully. See this E, input parameter. It is a category object. What is this E? It is a product object. Suppose if you are confusing about this E, just you can use that one. Next has a primary key. Put the mouse pointer here. It is showing product. So it is better. Okay, right. So just check this. Now build this, save, build the solution. See, by using EF core, you can call stored procedures and you can do so many things. Okay, so many options are there. Even if you select EF core 8, okay, 8 is again with so many other latest options. But always first you should concentrate on the fundamental minimum requirements. Once the minimum functionalities are completed, then you can think about the other options. Okay, what are the first basic operations? Creation of tables and configuring the tables and forming the relation between the tables properly. Okay, and after that there is another concept called seeding. Okay, I mean when the table is created, the table should load with the existing data. That is called seeding or initializing the table. That is, I mean once the table is created, okay, table should load with existing data. That is called seeding. Okay. Right. Now, there is no any errors. Now what to do? Now the configuration is completed by using Fluent API, not by data annotations. If you open the classes, now I am going to remove this. Okay. Now our classes are totally like normal classes, right? Any annotations here? Any annotations here? Any annotations here? No, right? Now go back to this product. Any annotations here? No, right? So now this application is completely by using Fluent API, which are equal to the data annotations, right? That is. See, configuring means once again I'm telling you two things: schema and validations. Both that validations will work client side and server side also. Generally by default they work server side because it's C# code. Okay, client side means when you are using the MVC, okay, the model class validations are act as a client side validations with the help of jQuery. Remember that. Okay, because the client side means browser supported technologies, HTML and JavaScript. Okay, so the model class properties, and when the model is binded to view, okay, the view is nothing but the razor code, HTML and all. Okay, so with the help of jQuery, the validation logic which is written here by using annotations or by Fluent API, whatever, that validations are executed as client-side validations with the help of jQuery. Okay, and in the server side, inside the controller or inside the MVC controller or inside the anywhere at the server side code in the web API, they act as a server side validations. So validations specified by using annotations or by using Fluent API, they have a capability to act as a server-side validation and a client-side validation. So see that how much code is reduced. Remember that. Okay. And at the same time, the model class which you created, that is used to design the view when it is binded to the view. Okay. So automatic generation of view based on the model. Okay. So that's why if you prepare the model perfectly, okay, with proper schema and with proper relations and with proper configuration, then 60 to 70% of the application is successfully completed. Remember that. Because the application development means what? The writing the business logic for the normalized tables. Okay, that is. So, I mean, regular applications. If it is a restaurant or any ERP, e-commerce application, or okay, any school application or anything, right? That is. So now we need to check our Fluent API are working or not. How? Let us create the tables through migration. Now go to the tools. You get package manager, console. Add hyphen migration space, give some name here. Step 1, creation. Right? Now, so the C# code is generated. Observe this. Go to the view, solution explorer, migrations folder is added. Step 1, creation.cs. Open this. Now create table. About which one? Category. Categories or category? Category. So convention is overridden, right? That is. Next, category ID, category name, category description. So name and description are the actual property names. But here it is going to create a column with category name and it is going to create description with category description. It means the column names setting is also working, right? Because we created category name and description. But in the creation code, name is category name and description as category description. It means our Fluent API code is working, right? Because where you specified that one, see this one, has column name, category name, has column name, category description. So as you specified here, in the same way, the file is going to be, table is going to be created. What is the primary key here? Category ID. Clear? Next, what is the table? Product. It is not products. So convention is working. I mean, overriding of convention is working. Next, product ID. See this one. Name. See this. Quantity, price and category ID. Constraints. Primary key and foreign key. Right? Now let us go to the tools. You get package manager, console. Update hyphen database. Right? No errors. Now come to the database. expand the databases. What is the database name? EF core 2, our database name, right? EF core 2. Now go back. This one, EF core 2. Okay, expand this, expand the tables. See this, category, product, both are created same as classes names, right? The table name is same as class name, and see this here, product table name is also same as class name, right? Come back to the category design. Now this is category ID, primary key, clear? Next, we ask not to make it as a identity column. So category ID identity specification is no, but for product you left it as it is, right? Okay, you not configure the product. Okay, so let us check this product. Sorry, one more thing you need to confirm here. See the column names, category name and description. So the Fluent API is working for columns. Okay, now coming to this product, right click, design, table name as product, same as class name, product ID, name, quantity and price as it is. Now this is product ID. Come here, identity specification is yes. Why? Because in the configuration you specified value generated never, only for which one? Category ID only. Suppose if you want to make product ID is also as non-database generated one, then you need to write model builder dot entity of product dot property. Okay, that p dot product ID equal to value generated never, that is. But to show the difference, okay, I never configure the product ID. So one is with Fluent API configuration, one is without configuration. So the category ID is a normal, it is a non-database generated column, whereas product ID, see this here, identity specification yes, right? Why? Because product ID is not configured. Okay, it is working as a, it is working according to EF conventions, right? That is okay, right? What next? Now program.cs. Now tables are created. Now I want to know how many records are there, how many rows are there in the tables. Okay, now these two tables are empty, right? Right click here, select, any rows are there here? Any rows are here inside the category? No, this category table is category ID, category name and description. These three columns are empty. Now go to the product, select, these are also empty, right? Now first step, database logic. I want to know the how many rows are there inside the database. Okay, that is very important. And one more important, just a minute, you need to check in the online mart context class. Right, one more important point, you need to use DB set objects to maintain the collections, right? So public DB set category, it is a collection of rows, right? Next, public DB set product, products. Just build it once again. Right. Now come back to this program. Now data access layer. Context class is nothing but a data access layer. Remember that. Okay. So create an object for context class. If you are using repository pattern, the way of coding will be little bit different. Okay. Now it is a direct dal equal to new online mart context. Now dal dot, you are able to access categories and you are able to access products. Okay. Now categories dot count, it returns the number of objects in the categories. Okay. The number of objects is nothing but number of rows, because rows are mapped with objects. One object equal to one row. Now right, just execute this. The number of rows in the category is 0. The number of products are 0. Right. Now we'll do one thing. You can add through C#, okay, or you can add manually also, because both should work. Okay, because sometimes the data may be inserted through SQL Server also. Okay, so here it should work with SQL Server, okay, with proper sync. Suppose if the data updated through SQL Server, it should reflect in data access layer. Suppose through logic you added, that is also should affect properly, right? The sync should happen between these two. Now without using .NET, now I am going to add values to SQL Server. Will it work? Will it will be updated properly into the program or not? We will check, because the program should not differ, or should not be, it should be with proper sync. Remember that, right? So now take one table. Right. Category, edit. Okay. This is category ID. So 101. See, I am going to add in different ways. One is by using Management Studio without using SQL. Okay, this is. So now in this category table, how many rows? 3 rows. Save this. Now come back to this program. Just execute as it is. Now rows in the category 3. So when you make the modifications, okay, without touching the .NET logic, you made the modifications in the SQL Server table data, right? Without using .NET. I never inserted any data by using .NET, right? But the .NET able to sync with that data, right? It is working. It is working like a normal table. Why I did this example? Because to prove it created a table which is working as like a normal table. You inserted the data that is updated to front end, right? That is because you should prove that that table is a normal one, even though it is created without using SQL directly, right? That is next. How you can insert data into the category table? One more way, that is insert command. Okay, so now select the new query. Once again, I am showing here. See this in the Management Studio. There is an option here, new query. Select this and make sure that in the top left corner in the drop down, your current database is selected. Our database is EF Core 2. Now insert into category values 104, because we need to prove everything. The fourth value, clear? This is the query. Now this is the fourth row. Now execute this, parse it, no syntax errors, execute. One row affected. This time you inserted the row by using SQL. Now let us check whether it is inserted or not. Refresh. How to check? Use the query. Or not 4. Now in two ways you inserted. Okay, even there are so many other ways in the real time. You can import the data into the SQL Server tables once they are created. Okay, by using export and imports also. Because the real time the company, suppose if you take Big Basket or Amazon, the categories data is stored. Okay, it is already created. Okay, it may be in the SQL, it may be in the Excel sheet, just assume. You can import the data before deploying the project, before delivering the project to the client, or maybe it is going for testing also before the delivery. So because how many categories you can insert in this way, it takes a lot of time, right? So store all the data in an Excel sheet, okay, 3 columns, and import that SQL sheet into this SQL Server, right? So anyway, now let us go back to our program. Now execute this. Now how many? 4, right? Now it is displaying count, but I want that data. How? Now the select logic. Generally, what is our select logic here? Select star from category. You should not use that statement. Okay. Now, where is the data? In the context class object dal dot categories. Categories is the collection which contains categories data. One category object points to one row. Okay. So now in these categories, the count specifying that how many objects are there? 4. So it is a collection, right? From this categories collection, pick the first object and print its data. Pick the second object and print its data. Pick the third object, print its data. This process should go till the last object of the categories. Okay, how? In the regular C#, we have one method called for each. Sorry, we have one loop called for each. For each, what is the syntax of for each? In right side of the in, name of the collection, and left side 2 options. What is the type of categories? Categories is a object of category. So on left side, you can create a category object, or there is another way. You can use where, okay, because the where object accepts any type of data. Now console.writeLine c dot category id c dot name. You can use different statements here, string interpolation or placeholder, anything. Now execute this. See, now you got the data. I don't know. This is a C# code. Are you using SQL here? No, right. Next, coming to, this is the first one. Okay. Now let us do the remaining operations like insert, delete and update and find. Okay, 4 operations. But we have one second table also. So let us insert the data in product table also. Okay. Now for that purpose, I am going to use this is fresh fruits, okay, category. In that one fruit is pomegranate. I want to insert this data. Manual and query and SQL, both. In 3 ways I will show you. Okay. So now first take this. See why I am inserting in this way. If the table is with data, it should be accessible by logic. That is the point. Later, by using logic, you are going to insert. Okay. Now product ID. So the product ID series, I am going to take it as some. Okay. Now the product ID is identity column, so that you don't need to enter the value for product ID. What is the name of the product? The name of the product this time it is pomegranate regular. Okay. The quantity is 1 kg. The price is 223.29. Okay, and it belongs to which category? It belongs to fresh fruits category. What is the value? What is the category ID of fresh fruits? 101. Okay, that is right. Now take the second product. Banana. It is also again 1 kg. Right. 101.37. Again, it also belongs to, right. So 2 products are there. Now let us save. Let us check. Refresh. Select. See, we have 2 products. Now let us execute the code. This time the products count should show 2. Let us see whether it works or not. See this, it is showing products 2. Whenever the table is with data, it is identifying, right? Clear. Now let us add one product by using logic. Okay. Right. In the EF core explanation, I told you adding a object is equal to adding a row. Deleting an object is equal to deleting a row. Modifying one object data is equal to modifying one row. That is okay. Reading an object data is equal to nothing but reading the data from row. So rows are objects are mapped with rows. That is a very important point. Okay. So now adding a product object is equal to inserting a row in the product table. Okay. Right. Now you need to prepare a product object. New product So the fresh fruits belongs to which category? 101. Okay. And you no need to provide the product ID. Remember that, because product ID is a identity column. So you need to provide the name for it. So name, what is the third product? Tender coconut. Okay. Right. Next, what is the price of it? So the quantity price 56.16 and the quantity equal to 1 piece. So 1 PC. Okay. Now this is a product. Okay, new product. Now this product object need to be added into products collection. Where is the products collection? The products collection is in the context object. Dal dot products. Into this collection, you need to add the product object. That is. So products dot add of new product. Okay, right. Clear? So you call the add method on products. Now, are you developed this add method? No. What is the meaning of, what is the exact meaning of the term of EF core? Data access layer generator. Now this, who provide this add method for you? That is the point. Okay. So now here see, add of new product. It is a C# object, right? Remember, it is not a SQL. It is a C# object. Let us add it. Let us observe carefully, because every statement is important here. Any error here? No. Add logic is executed or not? Executed. It means, what does it mean? You added one product object into the products collection. I mean DB set object of data access layer. I mean context class. Adding of an object is equal to adding of a row. So it means in the backend database, you should have one product here, right, Ram? Okay. Now let us refresh this and execute. You have only two products. Why the third product is not added? Now let us see. You added into the products collection object. Okay. Now when you add, it is a C# object, right? It is a programming object. It is an object in the program. Now you added into the DB set object of data access layer. Now the newly added object in the collection need to be updated in the backend database. That is the key point. So every statement, you should know every statement's importance. That's why here I intentionally skipped the next line. What is that next line? Every modification statement, it may be add or it may be delete or it may be update. Because what are the statements makes the modification on the collection? Add. It adds a new object. Delete, which deletes an object. Which update, which modifies object data. So any modification is happened, okay, immediately you need to call dal dot save changes. That is. So this statement add is updation to the local object, and dal dot save changes, it checks the mismatch between the local object data and the table data. If these two are differed based on the modification, it updates that one. So now it added a new product. It is with three objects, but in the database table is with two rows. So 2 rows and 3 objects, mismatch is happened. Now what is the third one? That is newly added. So the state of product object is a newly created one. So it immediately updates the modification to the backend. Now, how to know that? After the save changes, call the count method once again. Okay. Now execute this. See that the number of rows in the product is 3. Now come back to the database and here refresh. It is added. This is a add logic, right? Now I want to check the find logic. Okay, I want to use find logic. Now I want to find one product whose ID is equal to 2. Okay, let us write the find logic here. See, whenever you are executing this program once again, it is a sequence oriented programming. Means it is a console application. It executes from top to bottom. Once it is added, you no need to execute this logic once again, right? So comment this add logic. Because if I execute the same program once again, what happens? It executes the add logic once again. Okay. At that time, it is going to add the same product once again. It raises error. Okay. That's why I'm commenting this. Now the find logic. And one more, this logic is one version only without using asynchronous methods. But when you are developing the real-time application to improve its productivity, you should use asynchronous logic. Remember that. That's why here I will show you one simple statement. Dal dot save changes. Save changes, two versions are there. Save changes and save changes async. Async means asynchronous. Why this one? Why this type of methods are required? Okay, when you are developing the application, especially by using EF core, generally in the real time, only one employee will work on the database in the company. One employee will do the entire tasks. No, it is impossible. Okay, when multiple employees are working on the same database, okay, parallelly, concurrently, to improve the performance, the logic also should support parallel execution. Remember that. I mean asynchronous programming. While one person is saving, other person is also allowed to save other data, right? So the requests from the different users should execute parallelly. That is, for that purpose, okay, the every logic need to be written in asynchronous mode. That's why in the EF core, almost normal methods and asynchronous version methods both are provided. Okay, but this concept comes as a part of the basics in the C# asynchronous programming, multi-threading and asynchronous programming and tasks. These three are connected: multi-threading, asynchronous programming, async, await and tasks. Okay, that is. Now anyway, first we are going to write the find logic here. Find logic means I'm taking the hard coding values. I want to find a product whose ID is equal to 1, right? But you can use name and you can use price also, because in the real time the customer searches for products based on their name, based on their brand, based on their price, and a combination of both also. See, for example, I want a product, a mobile whose brand is equal to Samsung and whose price is equal to less than or equal to 10,000. It means I want Samsung mobiles and price also should be less than 10,000. So it means the search criteria or the find criteria may be one, maybe more than one condition. That is. So the find logic first I will write. Now here del data access layer object dot products dot, here find method is there. Automatic logic, because you never written the find. Database logic generator. Okay, add is provided by this EF core, right? Collections. Find of say second product. Why I provided directly 2 here? Because this find method is with one fixed behavior. That is, the input value of the find method is compared with the primary key column values of the backend table. Remember that. Because here you not specified find of search in the product ID column. No, you not specified that. Just you specified find of 2. That's all. Now by default the find function searches for the given value in the primary key column of the products. Whenever with the given input, with the given input value, if any product is there, its reference is returned. See this, see the, put the mouse pointer here, find, over the find, see this here, product, question mark is there. Why question mark? Because suppose here I have given find of 20. With the given ID 20, any product is there? No. We have only 3 products, 1, 2 and 3 only. So the return value from the find may be null also sometimes. That's why here question mark. Okay. Whenever with the given ID no product is found, it returns null. Okay. So now product P equal to SS. Okay. Now you need to check the logic here. If P not equal to null, means if P points to a reference, what does it mean? The with the given ID product is available, right? So console dot write line P dot product ID P dot name P dot quantity P dot price, and it belongs to which category? P dot this is okay. Suppose for this P there is no object, then the P gets null. At that case use else and console dot write line with the given ID no product found. Okay. Now let us execute this. Right. See this one. Product 2 banana 1 kg 1.1 101.37 and it belongs to a category called 101. Right. Now you need to check the else logic also. Just make it as 20. Okay. With the given ID 20, any product is there? We have only 3 products. Their IDs are 1, 2 and 3 only. Right. Now execute this. With the given ID, no product found. Clear? So it is a simple logic. You can add so many other conditions in the real time. Okay. Now, why I selected immediately the find after the select? Why not the update or delete? See, you need to learn these things in a proper order. That is very important. You can update an existing product. You can delete an existing product. So, if you want to delete something, first you need to identify it, because you can delete only existing product. So, how you are able to know that is an existing product? By find only, right or wrong? Right. Now I want to modify the price of banana. Okay. Then you need to find the product banana and then change its name or price or anything, right or wrong? So if you want to perform delete or if you want to perform update, first you should perform find, because only existing product can be deleted, only existing product can be updated, right? Now your logic becomes simple. Now this is a product not equal to null. It means this product is a existing product, right? Okay. Now just add either remove logic or update logic here. So if you learn in a proper order, the logic becomes very simple. Okay. Find the product, update it or delete it. That's all. Why? Because why find first? Existing product can be deleted, existing product can be updated, right? That is. So now how to update and how to delete? 2 logics here. Update logic or delete logic. For update, find is required. For delete also, find is required. Now I want to change the price. What is the current price of banana? It is some 101.37. Now I want to make it as a 199. Okay, right. Once again, if you want, you can check. See, the banana price is 101.37. I want to update. Simple. P dot, because the P contains second product data, right? So P dot price equal to 199.99, right? This is. Now you need to update. Del dot products dot update of P, that is. Okay, it is updated in the front end collection object, right? You need to update, you need to confirm these changes in the back end. So del dot save changes, right? Product price is update. See, just like a price, you can update any other property also except the product ID. Okay, right. Now let us check this. See, this product price is updated. Now check in the database. See this here, 199.99, right? Clear? That is. So this is about the update. Now let us comment this logic. I want to delete the product. Okay. So with the given ID, first you need to find the product. Okay. Display its data. Now which product you want to delete? A product which is inside the P. Right. Now let us see here. Del dot products dot remove. Which one? P. Object P. So adding an object is equal to adding of a row. Updating one object's data is equal to updating the row's data. Now I am removing object P. Object P means a object which is whose ID is equal to 2. That is. Now once you removed, you need to update the changes on the backend database. Del dot changes. Now console dot write line. Product is deleted. Clear? Right. Now let us execute this. The product is deleted. You no need to check the database also. Just re-execute this program. When you re-execute this program, when you try to find the same product ID once again, as it is deleted, is it available when you execute the same program once again? No, right? Because the product 2 is deleted. Now, sorry, the product 2 is deleted. Execute the same program once again. See that with the given ID, no product is bound, no product is found because it is deleted, right? So go back to the database, refresh here. Second product is deleted or not? That is. So it is like find, see, select, add and find, and this is a select logic, right? Now what is the importance of these navigation properties? See here, in the category we have products. It is a collection, right or wrong? What is the use of this? Let us check this. In the main program, here you are displaying the categories, right? Okay. Now when you type category dot, I mean this category object C dot, you are able to get a description, name, category ID. Please observe carefully. You are able to get a property called products. What is the nature of products? List of products, right? So it means it comes up with a list of products who are associated with this category. Okay. Now See this. Now let us write one more loop here for each. Okay, now in the keyword right side you need to write the collection. Which one you want? Products data. Inside the C means here category object. Okay, now from this products collection you can get a product object. So on the left side product P. Now console dot write line P dot product ID. I hope already we used this P here. Okay, anyway, okay, right. So now let us execute this program. And now see, even though you have the find logic, no problem. Okay, just execute this. See that whether it works or not. Null reference, it is unable to get the products data. Okay, the line number 19, please observe this. Why see this one, why null is came here? Because you are getting products, sorry, you are getting categories here, right? Categories should include products also. That is, so when you are, see this here, del dot categories, along with categories, see categories means categories properties only, right? Now that too, which one? Normal properties, only these three are included. But when you are saying categories collection, it should include category ID, name and description and its products also. That is the most important point. But it never happens automatically. You should specify del dot categories, okay, dot include. Okay, which one? That is, so the category should include each category wise products also. Remember that, because every category contains their own separate products. That's why you need to use the explicit method called include. So then every category comes up with products. So this products is a navigation property, right? So this is the way, when you have category object in your hand, you can get its products also, right? Now see this, what is C? C is a category object. Category object contains category ID, name and description. Along with the three normal properties, it contains products navigation property. So C dot products means C dot category ID, C dot name and C dot description. These three are single valued properties. Okay, that too database properties they are. But whereas C dot products means it is a navigation property, it is a collection. From this collection, it is going to fetch the products which are associated with this category. Now let us execute. See that here, whenever it printed the first category, it printed the products associated with first category, right? 101 fresh fruits, organic fresh foods. Now what are the products belongs to 101? Pomegranate and tender coconut. How to know? Their category ID is 101 and 101. Right? Chund, see this here. The first line stands for category 1, category 101. It is printing products which belongs to 101. How to know? In the product data, what is the last value? 101, 101. So these two products belongs to 101 category, right? That is. In the remaining categories, any products are there? No. That's why it not printed any products. That is. So this is another important feature, okay, of important functionality of navigation properties. When you have category object, you can access its associated records of the child table, that is. So who is the child table for category? Products. So when you have category object, that object is associated with how many products? That is accessed by using this navigation property. Clear? Okay. Right? So this is the one part of one view of explanation related to the EF core, but it is some up to some extent a little bit similar to EF.NET, and at the same time its configuration and context class creation is different, and the library is also different, remember that. But we have so many other options like concurrency management and creation of multiple relations, one to one, one to many, and many to many. When you are creating many to many, okay, then how to configure, how to set the settings, because many to many directly will never work, that is. And calling of stored processes by using EF core. In that way, we have so many options from EF version 7.7 to okay 8.0, that is .NET 8, right? So we have so many options, and we have so many advanced topics in EF core, right? So that's all for today. Thank you all of you. So two versions, same example by using data annotations, and same example by using Fluent API, right? That's. Thank you all of you.